Hello everybody, good evening, welcome to That's Football for a massive night of Monday night, funnily enough, action as Tottenham take on Chelsea. We're really excited about this one, I hope you are as well. It's an absolute cracker. Can Tottenham maintain their unbeaten start to the season and go back to the top of the Premier League? Or can Chelsea find a win and get themselves off page 2, off Scroll Down FC and into the top half of the table and maybe start rebuilding their season? It's an absolutely massive game and we're so happy to have you with us here. Lots of talking points as well off the pitch as the Arteta statement and Arsenal statement rumbles on. Have you mellowed on that? Are you still with me? Do you still think this is a media-led backing of referees to maintain the status quo? Also, interesting things going on as well, as I'm sure you're aware, involving the United stand. We've been trending, we've been on the BBC, we've been on Sky. Hypocrites, we'll talk about those in a bit. But I'm so excited to say that today we are sponsored by the wonderful team at HelloFresh. If you don't know what HelloFresh is, it brings a world of delicious meals to your fingertips. Browse their app or website and get those meals delivered to your door. Every HelloFresh meal is carefully packed with all you need, accompanied by easy to follow recipes, and these cards also show nutritional info, making delicious and informed cooking a breeze. For someone like me, it's absolutely fantastic. I've actually just had my meal before the United stand. I'm going to show you what I had in a minute. It was actually cheesy beef mince ragu stew. It was bloody lovely. But also on the menu this week, I've got rosemary lamb steak with fondant potatoes, speedy sausage rigatoni, and lots of other things as well. But what I want to tell you is we've got some exciting news for you at That's Football. With the code FOOTBALL60, you can get your first order with a massive 60% off. Your first box order, 60% off. And you get a number of meals here delivered to your door with all the ingredients and all the recipe instructions on how to make it. 60% off. Unbelievable. I want that code. Football60. Brilliant. But then it gets even better. After that, you'll enjoy 25% off your next 8 boxes. And as a cherry on top, HelloFresh is gifting 3 special items for you as well. So the code is Football60. Scan the QR code next to me to use it, or go through the link in the description. Your first box, you get 60% off. And in your next 8 boxes, you get 25% off. And just as a guide to show you what I had for my lovely dinner tonight, this is what I had. Cheesy beef mince ragu stew. Can we get a focus in on that? Absolutely fantastic. It was gorgeous. You got the bread with it as well. On the back, you've got all the instructions on what you need to do. Absolutely fantastic. In fact, I think there's a bit of cheese on there from where I ate it. Magnificent. I've got lots of other stuff as well. What else have I got? Sweet potato cottage pie this week. Loving that. It's just absolutely fantastic, and I'm looking forward to it. Where was the one I'm really looking forward to? Oh, look at this. Got all the ingredients sent through. What about that? Rosemary lamb steak and fondant potatoes. I've got that to come tomorrow. All the instructions there. I've got an oven, and I've got a few pans, so I'm laughing. 60% off with the code Football60. Share it about. Use it. And then you get 25% off your next 8 boxes. Links in the description. Scan the QR code, Football60. We all like food. Get in there. Absolutely love it. Big shout out to HelloFresh. Great to be working with them. Love it. Okay, let's scan around and go through the team news for you on what, I've had a lovely meal. We've got a lovely dessert now. Chelsea, Spurs, magnificent. Bring it on. That's what I say. So let's have a look at the Spurs team for you. As you can see, that's how Spurs are going to be lining up this evening. It's the return of Poch as well. I mean, I've not even mentioned that. The return of Poch to Spurs. But Vicario in goal, Pedro Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie, Bissouma, Sarr, Kulusevski, Maddison, Johnson and Son. Probably their strongest team, really. I mean, they could have gone different off the left-hand side, I suppose, but Richarlison's on the bench, Højbjerg's on the bench, Lo Celso's on the bench. It's a strong Spurs side. Chelsea, let's have a quick look at them because we're getting very close to kick-off here. Chelsea have gone with Sanchez, Reece James, Disasi, Thiago Silva and Colwill, Casido and Fernandes, Palmer, Gallagher, Sterling and Jackson. Are they a bit toothless, Chelsea? That's the thing that's been levelled at them a lot this season. Will it be levelled at them today? We'll have to wait and see. But I tell you what, I'm really looking forward to this game. I mean, in normal circumstances, I think normally you would probably say that Spurs would be the underdog. But in this situation, I think they're coming in as favourites. Look at the league table. We can't even see Chelsea. Chelsea are not on that league table, and I'm not going to page 2. I'm not willing to do it. But Spurs can go top. 26 points. They can go top today if they win. They'll be joint top if they draw, but if they win, they go back to the top. Could Chelsea go into that page 1? If Chelsea win, they can go up to 5th. They'll be in 10th place if Chelsea win with 15 points. And they'd still be a massive 11 points off Spurs, even if they beat Chelsea today. If Spurs beat Chelsea, they would be a humongous 17 points ahead of them. That's incredible for Chelsea. Imagine being 17 points behind Spurs at the start of November. That's the reality if they lose tonight. Shahin says, if Roy Keane or any of my favourite legends had called me out on Twitter, I'd be devastated for the rest of my life. I hope Faz is okay. Tough day, says Shahin. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, I've spoken about it on the United Stand. It's disappointing on a personal level, but, you know, it's life. They always say, don't meet your legends. Don't meet your legends because you never know what they're going to be like. And I'm disappointed by it. But, you know, it's no more. Sam Smith, are the rumours between you and yourself and Gary Neville true? What are the rumours? What are the rumours? I mean, you know, look, I'll never not be disappointed by Gary Neville because growing up he was one of my favourite players, and I've never met the guy, and he has a bit of a personal vendetta against me, which I'm a bit confused about, and he does. You know, there's private things I could say which would probably, you know, I wouldn't do it because I am professional. But the reality is, he retweeted Rashford's tweet today, which Rashford's tweet was, stop with the malicious stories. Well, there was no malicious story, but Gary Neville's retweeted that. And yet he's the guy on national TV when Man United played Liverpool who said on national TV, Bruno Fernandes is given up and he's trying to sub himself off, or words to that effect. Is that's definitively malicious to millions. And he's retweeting Rashford taking us out of context. I mean, this is the world we operate, isn't it? You know, people act like they don't, you know, people openly expose themselves as hypocrites. I said this yesterday. Jamie Carragher is saying that it's not a foul by Joel Linton on Gabriel, but 6 days before, he said it was a foul by Højlund on Rodri, who barely touches him. I mean, they blatantly contradict themselves in the space of a matter of days. You know, Gobby Bonglahor on TalkSport, he does it in a matter of minutes. I mean, he is the best at contradicting himself, but it's the contradiction. I mean, all I want is intelligence. I just want intelligence and consistency in refereeing and in punditry. And they're just so, I don't want to use the word, I'm going to use the word naive because stupid's a horrible word. But they contradict themselves all the time, and they give it the big one. Oh yeah, I'm standing with you. Well, you weren't standing with Bruno a few weeks ago, and you've just contradicted yourself about an incident because it suits it's agenda, isn't it? The reason Carragher doesn't want it to be a foul on Arsenal is because he doesn't want Arsenal to win. If that had been on Virgil van Dijk, it would have been a foul. And we all see through it. Because actually, one of the positives of social media is it's created toxicity. Of course it has, but it's created a more open forum for a less agenda-driven analysis of football. Do you think Chelsea has the attacking threat of a puffin, says Sen? I don't know. I mean, I'm a man of animals. I know my animals. Not in that way. That's just disgusting. But, you know, I'm very interested in nature. Puffins can be quite vicious characters. If you're saying that the puffin is a wimp, then you're puffing up the wrong chimney, basically. They are quite aggressive animals and have been known to... actually, I've got them completely wrong. Overall, they're quite placid in temperament. Their mating rituals aren't aggressive as other seabirds, and they seem more curious about humans than anything else. But for all their cute waddling, puffins the world over are facing some daunting environmental challenges. Let's talk about puffins. There you go. I'm full of it. Have you got any players left for your fantasy football league? Says Man United 1999. I have got Son. I want Spurs to win. Nothing against Chelsea. And I said today on my Man United career mode, I'm really excited to see Nkunku come back to the, come into the Premier League. You know, he's not played for Chelsea yet. But I'm excited to see Nkunku at Chelsea. And I have got nothing against Chelsea or Pochettino, but For me, it's got to be Spurs winning this game because I just think it would be, you look at that league table. I don't want Man City to run away with it. I want it to be as interesting for as long as possible. Man United aren't winning the league. So as a Man United fan, I've got to look at it and go, I love football. I love watching football. That's why I do That's Football. What do I want to see? And, I want to see a Premier League title race that's interesting. That's partly why I think the Arsenal and Spurs injustices are a shame because they'd have more points in the title race, which I want to see. Spurs are on the attack here, but I've gone for a draw in this game. I think it'll be a draw. Did you see Luton excuse their fans making fun of someone's family situation? It was a disgrace of a statement from them. Truly saddened, says Jeremy. I don't know what that's all about, Jeremy. I can't comment on things I don't know. Stephen Warnock has called the Arsenal statement distasteful, says 58 Go. I mean, I'm tempted to say who is Stephen Warnock, but I'm actually quite knowledgeable at football. If you watch the football fill-in, you'll know I win the quizzes most week. So I can't say I don't know who Stephen Warnock is, but really, what does his opinion matter compared to anybody else apart from he played the game? I mean, I thought all right, Stephen Warnock thinks the Arsenal statement is distasteful. I think the Arsenal statement is powerful and, supportive of football fans around the country and world who've had enough of this dictatorial PGMOL and officiating. So I think, so what does Stephen Warnock want? He thinks Arsenal should say nothing and we should just bow down to the PGMOL. Let's have a chat, Stephen, if you've got the minerals. Let's do it. I speak for the entire United community, including the toxic top Reds, that we absolutely support you, United stand, and everything you do. Big love, says Treble Champ. Well, I'm not sure you speak for everybody, but thanks for the support. Let's hope tonight that we're talking about football and not bad officiating. I mean, I've got to admit this. I always forget about officials until the game starts, and then I start to get a bit nervous. Michael Oliver is the ref today. Let's get ready for some VAR controversy, says Zach. Yeah, I mean, he's bloody dreadful. He'll help Chelsea out. He doesn't. No, it's Anthony Taylor who doesn't like Chelsea. Michael Oliver will help Chelsea out because he tends to help. He tends to be involved in the positive Man City decisions, doesn't he? Son's in, back post, Son. He was offside anyway. Oh, you can't beat water, You can't beat. I'll tell you what, you can't beat a bit of water. Not just rain. It's not just rain. His mum does his hair. His mum does his hair. I'm not going to say it, but I've said it before. You know what somebody said to me? I mean, look, I'm not targeting Michael Oliver here, or I have to put the disclaimer in. I don't want him to take it out of context and say that it's malicious. But somebody said about Michael Oliver, it might have been that prat on TalkSport, Danny Murphy. I'm sure it was Danny Murphy. It might not have been Danny Murphy, but he's had a pop at me, so he can have it back. I'm sure it was Danny Murphy, but it might not have been. Basically said that Michael Oliver knows how to look after himself, and he's from a rough part of England. And I thought, oh yeah, if I see Michael Oliver walking down the street, I'm thinking, goal, goal, goal for Spurs. It's Kulusevski. It's deflected in, and it's an early goal for Spurs. They've done it. I mean, I don't know why I'm getting so excited. I suppose it is betraying my inner wanting Spurs to do well, despite predicting they wouldn't even make the top 8th. Absolutely fantastic. That's not what I'm going to say to Michael Oliver on the street, by the way. I'll finish that story in a minute. I'm not going to go up to Michael Oliver and go, goal, goal. But it's a goal, and it's a big goal. It's a lucky goal. It's not what Chelsea want. It's definitely not what Chelsea want, but the expansive play of Spurs is fantastic here. The way they stretch the pitch, and they end up with Kulusevski, who is in a good position. I don't know what his original shot's going to do. It's going to be an OG for Colwell, who is in my fancy Premier League team, so that's fucking great. But apart from that, he's cutting on that left-hand side. I think he's going to whip it bottom corner. Maybe Sanchez is going to make a save, but it's deflected in off Colwell. There's no way the keeper's getting back to that. And Spurs lead 1-0 here. What a start. And I tell you what, you can't help be impressed by Spurs. And they're on the break again here. Chelsea. Brennan Johnson with the cross. He's overhit it, but Kulusevski will pick it up on the other side. He's at Cowell again. He's into the box. He's not done that well there. Oh, no, but they're in again, Spurs. He's going to shoot. It's a good shot. It's straight at the keeper. I'm sure Michael Oliver would be bemused as somebody randomly shouting goal. I mean, yeah. I'll come back to that in a bit, Dan. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it did take me by surprise. 1-0 to Spurs here. Great for the game. Great for the game. Why is it great for the game? Well, one, I want Spurs to win, but also it's great for the game because Chelsea will have to come out a bit now. You know, the defensive counter-attack that they may, I mean, we've not seen the game long enough to know, but Chelsea's plan may well have been to sit in and counter. They can't do that now. They've got to open up, and Spurs always play risky football, and they're playing fantastic. Spurs' pressing game is pardon the pun, very, very impressive here. Who got the assist? Maddison, maybe. I don't think there will be an assist on it, though, because it's a definitive own goal, so I think Kulusevski would get the assist. Pyro says, did Poch get a good welcome? I don't know, is the honest answer, because I don't have the audio on and I was busy doing other things. But I would imagine it was Sarr who got the assist if he gets an assist, but I don't think he will because it's a very big deflection. Although I always think if the shot's on target, it shouldn't go down as an OG. But Matoma's went down as an OG at the weekend, didn't it? So I think that will go. It's not an OG, says Jan. Yeah, not a good start. Anyway, what I was saying about Michael Oliver is somebody said Michael Oliver's from a really, rough area or he's tough. He knows how to look after himself. I've got to be honest, looks can be deceiving. If I was in walking down the street and Michael Oliver started on me, what you've been saying about my mum doing your hair, I'd laugh. Now, if Tyson Fury walked up to me and said, what you've been saying about my mum doing your hair, I'd leg it. I'd run for my life. But if Michael Oliver did it, I'd laugh. So if he is a hard nut, it doesn't look like one. That's what I was going to say. Johnson, Maddison, back post, good ball. Colwell gets under it, heads it away, but they're still in there. Yeah, I've got Son in my team. He's playing up front. I thought he was going to play on there. He's given a foul on Palmer by Maddison. Cracking start to this game, though. An early goal is what we need, and an early goal is what we have. I think this could turn into a beating, says Max. Well, do I bring in the lower part of the table? Don't normally have it. Let's do it. We've got 6 slides. Don't forget our Stats Carousel is sponsored by OneFootball. You can get all your latest breaking football news and transfer news on the OneFootball app, all your latest score results as well. Plus, they have individual stats for each game. So if you want to see how well an individual Spurs player is passing it or how badly a Chelsea player is passing it, download the OneFootball app for free. Links in the description or scan that QR code in the top right-hand corner. I have now added in to our Stats Carousel the bottom of the table. So have a look at that. That's where Chelsea are at the moment, 12 points. At what point do you start putting a bit of pressure on to the manager? Don't forget, we're sponsored by HelloFresh. You can get fantastic meals like what I had tonight delivered to your door with 60% off. 60% off. And this is a goal for Chelsea, surely. Jackson. Oh, my God. He couldn't finish a packet of crisps. He is absolutely blunt. He is absolutely incredible. I mean, why is he not taking this chance? He's in. Oh, I mean, I wouldn't say it was terrible, but he's got no left foot. He's got no left foot. That's incredible. It's like my pet mate's budgie. Got it trapped in a door when it was little. Had to have it amputated. Hops around like a bloody pirate. Apart from that, he's very happy. Makes a lot of noise, but he's got no left foot. Bobby Jackson. He's got no left foot. I tell you what, though, Bobby's right foot, stronger than Ronaldo's. He's overcompensating. LFC edits, screw one, piss off, get out. Knobhead. And I'm a Spurs supporter, says DJ. Sam says, I'm not trying to cause any controversy, just wondering why so many pundits direct so many comments towards you, Mark. I don't get it. Well, we'll ask the chat. Why do you think I'm getting called out all the time and retweeted by, you know, other media outlets and pundits who are terrified of actually having a conversation with me? I mean, it's cowardice, isn't it? Some of these people have got Champions League and Premier League medals. You know, they're on about £1 million a year from Sky. But they just hide behind retweets and likes. They don't even have a bloody conversation. I take it as a compliment, really. Lovely ball. Son! Oh, get in! What a goal! What a goal! You can clip that! That's absolutely fantastic. And they've ruled it out for offside. Whoa, I don't know. I've got him in my FPL. I'm like you, Son. I don't get it. Oh, it's... No. Is it this pass? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's Brennan Johnson. Maybe it's Son. It's tight. I think Son might just be offside. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame. I think either Brennan Johnson or... Oh, it's a lovely finish as well. Smooth. I tell you what, forget bloody Nicholas Jackson. They've got Michael Jackson at the other end. Michael Jackson. He's smooth. I think it looks offside. It might be an angle, though. It might be an angle. He might be on. Oh, I don't know. It's hard to tell because we haven't got the angle on this. It's close. It was a smooth finish. It deserves to be a goal. I think these goals deserve to be goals. It's like the Garnacho one against Arsenal. It's like the dunk one at the weekend. These should be given. I mean, he looks off. He definitely looks off. They're scared of you, Mark. That's why, says Pam. It was champagne football, says OTM. It was. And Chelsea will be very lucky because with these offsides, I always think it's lucky. It's not. They're not playing offside there. That, you know, for me, this is a goal. It's just that it's slightly offside. Tim Zim, thanks for your super chat. Yeah, Chelsea are very lucky here because they're not playing an offside trap, but it looks like he's off. Yeah, he's off. He's off. It's a shame. It's a shame. It is a shame. I don't understand what they do. You know, I don't trust offsides, you know. I genuinely do not trust their offsides. Since that Bournemouth game, I just don't trust it. I just think they blag it. Spurs need to rack it up for my Jason Cundy rant prescription, says Tim. And Liverpool fan here, but I do wonder why people want Ten Hag out. It's just going to restart a cycle of putting Man United in a worse and worse place, says Finster. Well, thankfully, it's not going to be happening for a while. That win at the weekend will take a bit of pressure off. Thanks for the super chats, by the way. Thanks everyone who's supporting the channel. Got nearly 17,000 watching already. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Jack, thank you very much. And Chelsea play City next. They could be 17th by then. Chelsea's next 2 games after this. Man City, Newcastle. Like, they could be in relegation. I mean, the thing is about Poch, I genuinely would love to know what Chelsea fans think because I genuinely would not be looking to sack Poch because you sacked Potter too soon. And you sacked Potter because the fans wanted him gone. So, but I think he went too soon. You can't keep sacking managers when you're buying this many players. On the other hand, if he loses his next 3, you're in the relegation zone. You've got to sack him. Like I would say that about Ten Hag. I don't want him to go, and I don't think Poch should be sacked either. But there gets to a point where you have to sack a manager. You can't be in the relegation zone after 14 games. So, yeah, we'll have to see how it pans out. But there we go. Yeah, very unfortunate for Spurs, though. Because that's not Chelsea playing the offside trap. That's just Son going slightly too quick. It was a lovely play. Lovely goal. The way they play football, Spurs, under Ange is incredible. I was saying this today on the Football Fill-In. It'll be on YouTube tomorrow. But I was asked for... In fact, let's just do an either or on this. I was asked a question today on the Football Fill-In with Ben Foster. And I thought, you know what? I will bring this into the show. Who would you rather have as your manager? So you might support Arsenal, United, Liverpool. You might support whoever. If you had to take Ange or Poch as your manager now, and I was asked the question at Man United, if I had to replace Ten Hag with Poch or Ange, who would I go with? And I said, well, I didn't want Poch when he wanted the United job, so I'd go with Ange. But what I'm really interested to say is that, oh, he's given a yellow card here. They'd be better off flipping a coin than VAR, says Beryl. Hi, Mark. I'm a Liverpool fan. I only watch your watch-alongs now. I can't stick your absolute rubbish these pundits talk, says Rebecca. You're always fair and honest. Thanks, Rebecca. Really means a lot, that. Let's have a look at this. He's given a yellow card here. Adogi. You know what? To be fair, he could have got a red for that. He could have got a red for that. Oh, he's going to get a red. They're going to give him a red. He's going to get a red, I reckon. I think they're going to send him off. I think they're going to send him off. What? Why has he done that? Why has he done that? No, they've not sent him off. That is amazing. I mean, that to me is a red. It's a fucking red. It is a red. If I was a Chelsea fan, I'd be losing my shit. I mean, Gusto got sent off for less than that. I don't want it to be a red. It was a Dogi, but he's off the ground, two-footed. I mean, I don't want it to be a red. I want Spurs to win. And I'm sure there's Spurs fans whose hearts were going like that. I'm not even a bloody Spurs fan. And I'm sat there going, that's a red. Why has he done that? But I can't believe they haven't. I can understand Michael Oliver not giving it. He's on the pitch. But I can't believe VAR are looking at what we're looking at and not giving it. Wow. Big, big moment. And again, it's another VAR moment. And it's one I'm very happy that they've got wrong. But I think they've got it wrong. I mean, he's literally launched himself two-footed. It has to be a red. I mean, if I thought Havertz was a red, that was one-footed. That's two. So, big decision there. Glad they got it wrong. Chelsea fans will be absolutely fuming. And I would be as well if it was against United. But, you know, I don't want to see Spurs getting someone sent off. I think it's a bit early to pick Ange over Poch. We have seen beautiful at Spurs under Ange, but things could go possibly wrong come January, says Bart. Chelsea have scored. Sterling has scored. Bloody hell, this game's got everything going on. Raheem Sterling has equalised for Chelsea. He's equalised for Chelsea here. Well, maybe it's a bit of justice. Maybe it's a bit of justice then, because there are players down here. I didn't even see what happened. Samuel says cheaters, but you've got to go back. What happens? Well, there's a barge into the back of Romero, which is a foul. Sterling is onside. Does it hit his hand? And then he scores. I mean, God, we're just all over the place. They've lost... VAR's lost the game again. Lost control of the game again. Foul on Romero. Handball by Sterling. It's all going off here again. I mean, how many more games are we going to get ruined by the inability? I mean, that's got to be a handball by Sterling. Checking possible handball. It will be a handball. And Chelsea fans will feel aggrieved here, but it will be a handball. He's knocked it forward with his hand. There may well be a technicality that you can do that. I'm sure there's something about handball where you can use your hand. I don't know. Has to be Ange as better than Poch, says Jack. In my opinion, however, he's similar to Ten Hag, so it would be like replacing him with Hansi Flick. Not much would change. Controversy again. Controversy again here, everybody. VAR for Michael Oliver. I mean, I personally think that Romero... Well, no, it's not been given. Sterling handball. I personally think Romero was fouled in the build-up. Now they want a Romero red. I don't know what he's done. People are saying Romero red. I didn't see it. Arsenal fan here. No other channel comes close, says Ryan. Thank you. We've got a great community here. We just keep getting very controversial games. Oh, Romero kicks out afterwards on Thiago Silva. Sorry, on Colwill. I've seen that. If Sterling would have passed it, the goal, it would have scored, says Casper. Oh, my God. They're not reviewing the Romero. I thought Romero was fouled, to be honest. But I think the ref's lost control again. This reminds me of the Newcastle Arsenal game. I think he's lost control a little bit here. Don't know what your thoughts are, but look, I think the Adogi one was a red card. Sorry, let me just get rid of this. We should be running polls on this. Apologies. 85% of you would go with Ange over Poch, but since then we've had just an amazing amount of stuff going on that I want to get your thoughts on. Adogi, the two-footed tackle. Yes or no? We will discuss the Romero one as well. I just want to get a sort of a quick fast track on this. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're building an amazing community here of, like-minded football fans who just love football and are willing to talk about it, unlike many, in an unbiased way. Opinionated but unbiased. No rivalry. Sorry, rivalry but not enemies. This is a cracking game, but they are good when the referee loses control. But it can be frustrating for those involved. We will talk about the Romero potential red in a moment. We are asking you for the thoughts on the two-footed tackle by Adogi on Sterling, which I am glad wasn't a red card from a purely biased point of view, because I want Spurs to win, because I want them to stay in a title race to make it interesting. But I'm absolutely convinced that it should have been a red card because he's off the ground and it's two-footed. Give us your thoughts. Chelsea are pushing here. It's looking like a good game. Lovely. Can get a bit heated between Chelsea and Spurs. It might feel like a long time ago. It was just over a year ago. Chelsea and Spurs at the Bridge. Tuchel and Conte and the super glue handshake. If you know, you know. Goal! Chelsea! It's been coming. And it's Casido from the edge of the box into the bottom corner. You can't argue with that. He's paid a bit of his price tag back there. He's off. Oh, is it offside? Oh, now then. Now then. Now then. Now then. Now then. I've got to wait and see it. I've got to wait and see it. I don't get it. So, not offside, not offside. Little trip, not offside. Casido. Well, Sterling. Oh, there's a player right in front. I mean, it's a weird one. Nicholas Jackson's right in the eye of the ball. Sterling goes down. Typical, sponsored by Speedo. Ignore him. Romero. It'd be a shame if this is not a goal. From a footballing point of view, it'd be a real shame because it's a lovely... Well, they're looking at a penalty now. That's not a penalty. There's no contact on Sterling. So get away from that. It's a complete and utter dive. Enzo Fernandez goes down. They should just adapt the Wimbledon approach. Each team 3 challenges per game, says Charlie. I mean, this game's gone. They've lost control here. It was out of control for sure, but I believe the reason for no red is because Sterling jumps out the way and the contact is minimal. Hence no red, says Andrew. I mean, this is incredible. Absolutely incredible. I've never known. This game is just out of control. It's just mad. I mean, look, it's entertaining, but you'd expect better officiating than this. I mean, Romero could have been sent off twice. Adogi could have been sent off once. I don't know why this goal's not being given, because they've not shown us the replay of whether he's in the line of the goalkeeper's eyes. It looks like he is. And he's offside. I mean, Chelsea are just massively unlucky here. I don't trust the lines. I don't trust the lines from Son. He is in the line of fire. Now, they might look at a penalty. This is match of the season for me already. It's got everything. Drama, passion, controversy, violence, energy. It's glorious, says Jack. It is a cracking game. It is a cracking game. Now, they're going to look at this as a possible penalty. That's not a penalty on Sterling. There's no contact. That's a dive. He should be booked. Now, I think that's going to be a penalty because Romero gets the ball. I mean, that's a penalty. That's Curtis Jones. That's Curtis Jones, that is. The Sterling one's not a penalty, it's a dive. That's a penalty. He gets the ball and he follows through. Now, I've played the game. He's followed through on purpose there because he's a rough player. Cracking game, and all the topics tomorrow will be about VAR, says DW. Right, he's going to the penalty. He's going to have a look at it, Michael Oliver. Dylan says it might not be a penalty. If he's offside, then the resulting action is irrelevant. You know, this is before the offside, though. The offside's after. Romero should be off, says Nigel. He might be off. Might be a red and a penalty. By this year's rules, I think he's definitely a penalty. And I think it will be a red. Big call. It's going to be a very big call, this. Well, let's end the poll because we know what... I reckon he's going to send him off and give a penalty. Let's go Romero, red. He's going to send him off. He's going to send him off, I think. This is just as bad as when the NBS reviews a foul, says Alex. He's red carding him. Yep, he's gone. He's gone. He's gone. He sent him off. It's so hard because I don't want Spurs to lose this game. But Curtis Jones got a red for this. And I don't think if you get the ball, you should get a red. Because it's so hard to see what the intent is. But by what they've been doing this season, that will be a red card. Wow. Absolutely incredible. Incredible. So, you know, incredible. 77% of you said it's a red card, which means it's a penalty. So, Chelsea have a massive opportunity here. Not only are we going to get a red card, but we're also going to get a Brennan Johnson substitution. I mean, that's the logical thing to do. Eric Dyer comes on. This game's already shown the best and worst of VAR, says Atomic. Well, I think Udogie should have been sent off. So Chelsea have had justice a little bit later on. And I think the Casido goal is... You know, the funny thing is, from Spurs' point of view, they'd rather the Casido goal was given and there's no penalty. You know, the emotions that Chelsea and Spurs fans must be going through, because we're going through them and we're not Chelsea and Spurs fans, but Spurs must be like, fucking hell, if Nicholas Jackson had stayed onside, then that penalty never would have happened. But Palmer has scored. It's 1-1. He's doing the shush. Nicholas Jackson doing the shush is hilarious because, mate, you've contributed fuck all to this. You're shit. But, you know, he is a team player. He has every right to clear the ball. Never a foul, says Red Army. Well, there's a bigger conversation to be had there. I mean, I don't think Casemiro should have got sent off. I don't think Curtis Jones should have got sent off. And I don't think Romero should get sent off. But we are now becoming accustomed to the fact that they will send people off if they make a tackle and follow through. You can clip me on this because I'm right. We're in London, aren't we, says Jack. You can clip me on this because I'm right. The Romero tackle isn't as bad as the Udogie one. I mean, it doesn't help Spurs out, but the Udogie tackle is worse than Romero because it's two-footed, it studs, and it's off the ground. Romero actually wins the ball and follows through. So there's a contradiction in the way that they run the rule. I would own that. If I was a Spurs fan, I'd be like, there's a real contradiction there. But we have seen Curtis Jones sent off. We have seen Gusto sent off. And we have seen Casemiro sent off for that, where you win the ball and you follow through, whether it's intentional or not. I don't think it always is intentional. The Romero one could have been intentional, to be fair. But you will get sent off for that. But Udogie doesn't get sent off for being two-footed. And Havertz doesn't get sent off for flying through the air. And Bruno Guimaraes doesn't get sent off for violent conduct. There is contradiction in what they do, but game of the season for all the wrong reasons, says Philip. Kovacic did not get a red for a similar situation against Arsenal. Oh, I think Pedro Porro's hurt himself there. Of course, the Curtis Jones one was against Spurs. And that's the one that, for me, means it's a red. They've scored again! Chelsea are offside. He's born offside. His name's not Michael Jackson. Well, where's the offside then? It must have been the build-up. Kovacic did not get a red for a similar situation against Arsenal, says Jimmy. Same ref, same referee. VAR is a roulette wheel. It's sickeningly disgusting. Come on, Chelsea as a gooner, says Alexander. I think that's a really intelligent comment by Alexander. I think it is a roulette, isn't it? It really is. Good to see consistencies alive and kicking. How on earth did Udogie is on the pitch if Romero is a red, says Snack. Exactly. I've got to say, though, what I would say to Spurs fans is, why is Udogie putting tackles in like that and Romero had just kicked out? We didn't even get to it. I mean, it was going to be a poll. Should Romero have been sent off for kicking out against Colwill? So my question as a Spurs fan would be, I'm not a Spurs fan, by the way. I'm just hypothetical here. Don't start on that. I've had all the bloody Forest fan stuff. My question, if I was a Spurs fan, would be, why is Romero and Udogie so wild in a game of such importance? I mean, you wouldn't see a Man City player doing it. It's composure. And I think Spurs have let the emotion get to the game. And maybe that's come from the manager. But it has been very, very physical. But yeah, maybe Romero should have been sent off for that violent conduct. It's only the same as Bruno Gomes when he kicked out, as what Bruno Gomes did at the weekend. But emotions are running high here, and Chelsea have a massive opportunity. They're up against 10 men. And Gino says Spurs have been looking for a red card all game. But George says, I agree. Spurs don't seem to have the composure in this game. VAR works if people operating it know what to do, says Mark Deacon. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, you're all very welcome. It's another very entertaining game. Maybe not for the right reasons, but it is. I mean, Spurs on the break could still cause a problem. I mean, they're down to 10 men. Uh, 72% of you said that Romero should have got a red. If there's any other polls from this game that we've missed, let us know. AM United's got Romero in the FPL. Neville said, not a natural position. Follow through, says Samuel. Well, I wouldn't listen to anything he's got to say. Not after the weekend. Sorry, I just don't respect his opinions. I think he flip-flops like a... I mean, not that I don't, but to say that Højlund was a penalty on Rodri and then to say it's not a foul on Joel Linton is incredible. Yellow card for Ange. How old is Ange? Sorry, this is off topic, but do you think Newcastle deserved the win against Arsenal, and where do you think they'll place in the Premier League, says Lord? Well, what a good point. I mean, we don't even talk about whether Newcastle deserved to win the game because there was such a, injustice in the game. We didn't really get to talk about the actual game, did we? But, Newcastle may well have deserved to win that game. I certainly don't think Arsenal deserved to win it. Maddison's down injured now. They can't afford to be losing players with injury as well. It's turned into a bit of a nightmare for Spurs here. Now, Maddison's gone down. I think he's tried to tackle and caught his ankle. I mean, this could be a bloody nightmare for Spurs. Plays a 1-2. I don't know what he goes down with. This could be a real problem for Spurs. It reminds me a little bit of Martinez for Man United. When there's nobody near him, you worry. If Caicedo goal stands, would Romero see red, says Harvey? No. 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 If the linesman doesn't put his flag up for Caicedo and the goal get given, there would never be a red card for... Well, you never know. Sometimes they go looking for things, don't they? Loving the content, says Michael. Yeah, glad everyone's enjoying it. What a game, says I spanked Carly. Lucky Carly. Thanks everyone for tuning in, by the way. We are very close to 52,000 subscribers. We're only 100 away. So please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with the That's Football community. Everybody's welcome on here. I do the United stand and I love it because it's United. But I absolutely love the community we have here because it's everybody involved. Watching, a lot of you won't be Spurs and Chelsea fans like me. It's just watching a big game and enjoying it. And I am enjoying it. But I do think that there has been, yet again, some dubious decisions in a big game. But Michael Oliver has main character energy, says Zach. Oh, he loves it. You imagine, you can tell by, whenever I see Michael Oliver, I can tell he's trying to contain that smile. You know when someone's giving you some praise and you're trying to act all humble and you're going, it's like that. You can tell the smile on his face. He's loving it. Absolutely loving it. If Spurs lose Maddison, I think their season will fall apart, says Nigel. Gareth Bale in the crowd. Adogi hits the player on the floor. Romero hits the player on the leg, says Stephen. Mate, look, I don't know what you're talking about there because we seem to have readdressed what a red card is. For me, you don't have to hit the player for it to be a red card. Like, I'm bloody glad Adogi didn't hit Sterling because if he did, he'd have snapped him in two. He was off the ground, two-footed. He'd have broken him in half. I mean, are we now saying that it can't be a red card unless you actually break them in half? What about intent? Mark, what happened to double jeopardy? I thought if it's a penalty and the defender makes a legitimate attempt to get the ball, it's not a red, says Marcus. Yeah, you do make a good point, but they've lost Van der Ven now to hamstring. Oh my God. You couldn't. Spurs are cursed here. They've just lost their two centre-backs. This is incredible. He's out for 6 weeks. What spell of Man City put on the Premier League this weekend? Liverpool can't beat Luton, VAR screwing Arsenal, and Spurs crumbling in front of us. Man City, they don't need this. Footballing gods, Man City don't need this sort of luck. You don't need to help them out with VAR and injuries. They'll win the league anyway. It's funny, I thought there was a game of football on tonight, not the VAR show, says Sully. Get used to it, mate. Get used to it. Did you see Gary Neville on how the camera angle can show the ball's out, but it's definitely in? Anil, mate, I saw it on Sky and I took the piss out of it. I was like, it's probably Gary's idea. Give me a ball, I'll show you how we can look out and look in. I mean, as if any prat doesn't know that a ball can look out when it's in. We know that. But I still think the ball was out. Guess what? Here's the other side to the coin. The ball can look out. The ball can look out when it's in, right? It's amazing. The ball can look out when it's in. But guess what? The ball can look out when it's out. Oh my God, Maddison off as well. Oh, I can't speak. I can't speak. Romero sent off. Van der Ven carried off. Maddison hobbling off. I mean, there's luck. There's bad luck. And there's atrocious luck. 12 minutes added on here. Spurs have to be Spursy somehow, says Mac. Strategic media attack against you, says Richards. Funny how the media jumped on it so quickly. Same thing happened to Russell Brand. We are behind you, mate, says Richard. Oh my God. Don't compare me to Russell Brand's allegations. Please don't. Sterling's in on the left-hand side. It's going to be a matter of time before Chelsea win this game, I think. This is ridiculously hard for Spurs. They're down to 10 men. They've lost Romero to a red. They've lost Van der Ven to an injury. They've lost Maddison to an injury. This is mission impossible for Spurs here. But Chelsea, at the moment, have not capitalised. What do you think about Arteta's comments? I completely agree. The level of officiating, especially VAR, is a disgrace. Well, Jawad, How can anybody honestly sit there and say that Arteta and Arsenal are wrong when you're watching this as well? I mean, they're absolutely right. This is an entertaining game, but all the entertainment is coming from the VAR mistakes. They haven't got everything wrong, but they've got a lot wrong. Losing a centre-back pairing and a key midfielder, that's got to affect your season, says Nick P. And I've been a City fan since 2012, but people call me a bandwagon because of the recent success. How should I respond to this? Well, you are, then. I don't think Spurs players can maintain Ange ball throughout the season. It's very intense, says Binny. And they're not playing in Europe. You know, they have a whole week off. Richard said that it was a strategic media attack against you. Funny how the media jumped on it so quickly. Mate, I can't believe how quickly those articles went out. I mean, Rashford only tweeted at 11:10. The BBC had theirs out by midday, I think. But, you know, it is what it is. They're scared. This is why I like non-league VAR is killing footy, says Football Away Days. I mean, I know United got spanked by Newcastle last Wednesday, but I actually quite enjoyed watching a game where the decision on the pitch is the decision on the pitch. Yeah, I mean, the game's gone here. I feel a little bit robbed, and I haven't got a horse in the race, but I hate sending offs. And I think the injuries as well. It's really difficult. Here's Reece James. It's a lovely cross. Did you see the penalty Anthony Taylor gave in the Championship? League One, he goes. Video is on X, says Dan Grayson. I haven't seen it, but I heard it. Will mentioned it on the podcast, which is out tomorrow. So I knew the Spurs bottle was going to be epic this year. I didn't think it would be from the refs, though, says Reformed Try Hard. It's relentless from Chelsea. We've still got 10 minutes of this game to go in the first half. I might sound like a soft git, but I'd be so happy to see Tottenham lose after the abysmal refereeing the Liverpool game. Tottenham are nothing but a fluffer team anyway. Love the show, Mark, says L8RT8. Thanks, pal. Got nearly 30,000 watching. I mean, it'd be great to hit 30,000. Please do share the video and smash a like. Subscribe as well, bottom right-hand corner. Liverpool obviously drawing with Luton yesterday. Did you see the comment Savage made about Sancho? Says Ajit. No. What do you do if you're Spurs in this situation? I mean, Ange ball is very expansive and energetic, and you've lost 3 of your better players. You're down to 10 men. I mean, what do you do? I mean, it's not unheard of for a team with 10 men to keep it to 1-1. But they don't look like they're doing that. I think people are more pissed off with Arteta because he sided with the refs when Liverpool were screwed. I personally don't trust anything he says Juan. Yeah, but I think Liverpool fans have to be bigger than that. You know, this is what I mean. I think when it becomes about rivalry, the referees win. Liverpool fans should actually stick with Arsenal and remember that what Arteta didn't stick with them, but be the bigger fan group, because, you know, you were robbed. I believe Arsenal were robbed. So the more division there are, the more the refereeing community gets away with it. VAR, no dive for Sterling. Should have been a free kick, says William Potter. I don't understand the rules, mate. I don't understand the rules. I mean, you're not wrong technically, but, you know, where's the first infringement? I mean, you make a good point. Sterling dives. If somebody dives, is it a free kick? I don't know the rules on that. I mean, look, I know a lot of football rules. I think we all do. But if somebody dives, is it a free kick? Because he dives, so he should get a yellow card, and it should be a free kick to Spurs, which cancels out the penalty. Now, you might still give Romero the red for violent conduct or whatever, but you'd have to go back. He's given a penalty now. Or is he giving a goal kick? I mean, that, you know, Sterling does dive a lot. I mean, he's dived once in this game already. He's dived again. Why is he not booking him? VAR dive should have been given, says William Potter. I don't know. I can't comment. I'm not going to comment on something I'm not knowledgeable on. Some people would say, well, don't comment on anything then. But I don't know if VAR or referees can give a free kick for diving, because really, he does dive before the foul by Romero. Pratt says, I've got a feeling that Spurs are going to sneak a win here. We're in London, aren't we? Says Ollie. Hey, look, you never know. Maybe Spurs go and win this game. If I just get in the box and dive. Well, you can't be losing the ball there, Spurs. As it says, he walks into Liverpool's team. Who do I think's going to win? I think Chelsea will find a way. Here's Reece James. And they nearly find a way again. It's just crosses into the box at the moment that Spurs are defending heroically at. And there's a bit of pushing and shoving going on now with Sarr and Colwill. Referee needs to get out of control here. I've got no problems with this. It's just pushing and shoving in what is a London derby. I don't have any problem with that. We're in London, aren't we? We're in London. Jackson has more yellow cards than goals, says Nigel. Well, I mean, Jackson was actually in my fantasy Premier League team because I thought he was going to be decent. And he actually got suspended in game week, was it 5? With 5 yellow cards. I mean, there's not many strikers that do that. I mean, I think he's going to make a substitution here. Maybe it's Reece James who's injured again. Fucking hell, Reece James might be in trouble. Oh, I don't know. I don't think that's a red. I don't know. I don't know. No, they're playing on. I don't think that's a red. I don't think it is. I think he's going for the ball. I know he catches him, but I've seen when someone's throwing that. I don't think it's a red. I don't think it's a red. I mean, Spurs fans will be livid saying it should be to equal it up. And from a game point of view, it would be quite good. But The trouble is, though, I get it if Spurs fans think it's a red, and I get it if Chelsea fans like me think it's not a red, because the officiating is so random. It's like a lucky dip. There's no consistency. So we look at things and go, oh my God, he's going to give a red, or I don't think it should be a red. I think I agree with him. It's all over the place. Longest half ever. I mean, it is half time now. Wow. Thoughts on that half, because we've had the lot. There's just so much to talk about. Players go off. It's felt like a half. It's felt like a long half, because it has been a long half. Spurs will probably be happy to have a breather. I'm sure Michael Oliver will be happy to have a breather. Chelsea are in the box seat here. They've got a great opportunity of winning the game. Wow, pick the bones out of that. Kulusevski scoring the goal early on, deflected off Colwill. Spurs could have been 2-0 up. Let's not forget, Spurs could have been 2-0 up. If it means Son, I don't trust the offside cameras anyway. So, I'm going to be consistent there and say I don't trust them. So, I've said it. And then you've got the Son goal that was lovely taken but was given offside. And then Raheem Sterling scores, but he uses his hand. Then Caicedo scores, but Nicholas Jackson gets in the way, usual, standard. And then they review it and they think that maybe Sterling is fouled, but he dives. And then they look at a tackle by Romero where he follows through. They give a penalty and they give a red card. So, and Palmer scores 1-1. Not forgetting, Romero had kicked Colwill off the ball a few minutes before that. And not forgetting, Udogie had decided to take off without, like it was EasyJet. Two-footed. So look, there's a lot to discuss there. I suppose ultimately 1-1 and Spurs down to 10 men is technically right, because Udogie could have gone and Romero could have gone before that. And Chelsea had scored 2 legitimate goals before the penalty that were probably quite rightly ruled out technically. So 1-1 seems about right. But when you add in the fact that Van der Ven's gone off and he'll be out for 6 weeks, and you add in the fact that Maddison's gone off and he could be out for a considerable period of time, Spurs will be feeling gutted from where they were an hour ago. And Chelsea will be thinking this is a massive opportunity to get 3 points and get into the top half of the table. It's been an incredible game of football. It's been entertaining. But I would agree with Tim Drake. It's also been very weird, because although it's been entertaining, has it been entertaining from a footballing sense, or has it been entertaining from the sheer and utter chaotic officiating yet again in a Premier League game? And, the answer is probably somewhere in between. We have seen some good football, but we've seen some incredible officiating yet again. And I just think that we are fast approaching a point that won't happen. But I think we're getting so much inconsistency and so many mistakes and so many subjective decisions that we'd be better off switching VAR off. Because all we're getting is long delays and mistakes from humans behind computers. We may as well just go with the mistake of the people on the pitch and let the game flow a little bit quicker. Because we're not getting quality from the VAR. We're not using the tech properly. So I'd just switch it off. I'd switch it off. I said this on the football fill-in today, that if the goal against Arsenal from Newcastle had been given on the pitch, I could deal with it, because it's human error. If we didn't have VAR and the goal had been given, I'd have to deal with it because it's human error. But the fact that there are replays and still shots means that they should have got to the right decision. I'd rather we just didn't have VAR and had the mistakes. Devron, thank you very much for your super chat. And London Air Traffic Control caught Udogie on the radar the way he flew, says Kurush. Rules need to be way more set in stone. Half of the decisions seem completely improvised. It's a great point, Germo. It's just subjective. There's no definitive rules. VAR has sucked the joy out of this game, says Tony. And football has become a soap opera. Screens used willy-nilly. Inconvenience, biased, awkward decisions. VAR out, says Dan. Well, the game isn't enjoyable anymore, says Mario. Well, Michael Oliver is the official, and most of the controversial decisions that Michael Oliver has made this season benefit Man City. I'm not for 1 minute saying that he's trying to favour Man City, but all the controversial decisions he's been involved in, whether it was that offside that should have happened at Fulham, whether it's the Kovacic, whether it was the penalty for against Man United in the derby, or whether it's this today, they always seem to benefit Man City. Can you really blame refs in a game like this, though, says Luke? Yes. Yes. Yes, you can, because there's better decisions that could have been made. Let's look at the footballing side. Amazingly, possession-wise, 48% to 52%. Amazingly, Spurs have had more shots on target than Chelsea. Pass accuracy is the same. Chelsea, what they've got to do in this second half is do something that they struggle to do. Get some shots on target. You can't win if you don't have shots on target. And they're up against 10 men. So Chelsea have got to do things that they don't normally do in the second half, which is create chances. Rival fans mocking Spurs injuries. Makers is not on, says CRF. No, it's not. We wouldn't do that. It's Chris says, it's hilarious how you think you're intelligent and know it all. Mourinho is the only United manager to win 2 trophies in 1 year, but the way you abuse him, you manipulate your viewers the way you want. It's hilarious. Chris is living in the year 2017 by the sounds of it. And he's also living in an alternate universe because I backed Mourinho until right near the end, Chris. So not only are you living in the past, you're living in the past like a prat. But thank you very much for your contribution. Who is winning this, Mark, says Alvin. Well, logically, Chelsea win this game. Logically, Chelsea win it. But on the other hand, they've got to score a goal first. 58 Go says, I disagree. Technology works in other sports. It's not the technology, it's the people. No, we were on the same page. You know, I'd switch VAR off because they're not using it properly. Should we get rid of CCTV cameras and just employ security guards? No, there's nothing wrong with the technology, 58, but they're using it in a subjective way. What you need to make VAR work is, we've got the tech and these are the rules. And they're definitive. What we've got is the tech and a bloke sat there like me going, oh, you know, I've had an argument with the wife. That's a red card. Oh, you know, I'm in a happy mood. I'm going out for my birthday tonight. Let him off. You know, what we've got is human bias on the computers. And what we need is consistent, definitive rules. I sent Romero off because it was the same as the decision that Curtis Jones got sent off for, which I didn't agree was a red card. So the only reason I'm sending Romero off is because Curtis Jones got sent off, and it's very similar. But I didn't agree with the Curtis Jones red card. So, yeah. Obligatory gratitude, super chat, Mark. Love your way, says Ankit. Thank you very much. I hope you're doing very well. We need AI running VAR, says Adrian. Well, I don't know about that. Gary Neville versus Goldbridge MMA fight, says Shark. He wouldn't dare. How is that goal ruled offside? It's so far from keeper. Don't understand how is Jackson off. He's in the line of the keeper. So, I mean, they're not always given as well. They're not always given. I mean, there's just so many. There's so many things you could interpret in many different ways. Is Man City against Fulham, Akanji is right in front of the goalkeeper, kicks his leg out, they don't give offside. In that one, it's miles out and it's offside. So, look, the inconsistency is there. We just have to deal with it, won't we? Everyone will find it fair if Spurs can't play their best because of injuries, yet United should with more problems. Double standard at its finest, says Tunt. Well, I've always said that. It's not the United stand, but I have said we've got our whole back five out, well, not our goalkeeper, but our holding midfielder and our back four, and everyone's on Ten Hag's back. You know, Romero and Van der Ven come off, Maddison gets injured, and suddenly everyone accepts it's going to be hard for Spurs. It is hard. I think there's a bigger conversation to be had here about injuries. I mean, Dan Burns out for 2 months. Eddie Howe said it today. It's not the injuries that's bothering him. It's how long people are out for. Same thing's happening at United. All our injuries are like 2 or 3 months. Is there a direct correlation between the volume of games, the length of games, the intensity of games, and how many injuries we're getting now? I said this in the summer, this was going to happen. The NFL gets a replay right every single weekend, says Corey. Gary Neville says the Reece James challenge was the same as Bruno's. You can't make this up. He's lost all credibility, says Anne Buckley. I mean, the Reece James one, for me, I don't think it's a red. I don't think he's the type of player, and I don't think he is going like that. I think it's just a natural hand movement to try and get up to win a ball. I don't think it's a red. I'd be screaming for it if I was a Spurs fan. I get that. But I don't think it is a red. Whereas Bruno Gomes runs up to Jorginho and lifts his hand up and hits him. He's not trying to win a header. He runs up and assaults him. It's soft, but he does. So I don't see what the comparison is there. Unless we're saying that Reece James deliberately did it. And it doesn't look deliberate to me. Whereas Bruno Gomes was deliberate. Everyone will find it fair if Spurs... I've done that one, haven't I? Yeah, I've done that one. I've done that one. VAR also shows how poor on-field refs are without VAR, which they are used wrong anyway. They would have missed 4 offside goals and a red card, says Atomic Johnson. How Son didn't get booked for being in Michael Oliver's face for the whole half is absurd. Bruno gets 9 years with no parole for that, says Norman. And predicting media sympathy for Ange with the injuries now, but had knives out instantly for Ten Hag, says Kuresh. Yeah, good points, good points. Can I just draw your attention to our fantastic sponsor tonight? It is a great opportunity for you as well. Don't worry, I won't be talking about it for too long. I spoke about it at the start of the show. But HelloFresh is a world of delicious meals that you can get delivered to your door. You can browse their app or their website. But the main thing is that you will get a box of food for the next 3 days or 4 days, depending on what you go for, or even the whole week. And you can get 60% off your first order with Football60 as your code. But it gets better than that. Use the code Football60. You will get 60% off your first order. But then for your next 8 orders, you will get 25% off. And you get 3 special items as well. That code is the Football60. The link is in the video description. You can scan that QR code. Look what I've got tomorrow night. Look at that beauty. You get your card, you get all your ingredients, you get your card of what it's meant to look like, rosemary lamb steaks and fondant potatoes, all the instructions on the back, all the nutritional value as well. Absolutely incredible. Use the code Football60, and I'll tell you what I had tonight, because I'd love to eat it again. This was delicious. I would recommend this. Cheesy beef mince ragu stew. The bread comes with it, the ciabatta. Absolutely brilliant. Made in 20 to 25 minutes. It was absolutely fantastic. 60% off your first order with the code Football60 and 25% off your next 8. It's an amazing, amazing offer from HelloFresh. Thank you very much to them. Check it out. Take a note of it. Take a note of the code. Links in the description. Big shout out to them. Right, Richarlison was in the keeper's line of sight last year in the game when Romero pulled Cucurella's hair and should have been sent off. How is Jackson off, says Paddy. Mudryk would be perfect right now, says Walter. And thank you for expecting us to win today, but I'm not comfortable until they lose one more player, as we can't finish our chances to save our lives, says JR. Well, I predicted a draw. I predicted a draw in this game. I don't know now. I don't think Spurs players can maintain Ange ball, says Binny. And they showed Gareth Bale at the game. Imagine how him in this Ange system, says Harrison. They could do with prime. They could do with prime Gareth Bale now, couldn't they? They really could. This is a huge game. Complete carnage and disorder. Imagine Mourinho being on either bench right now. He'd be fuming, says Yannick. And can you send a HelloFresh box to Marcus, says Viking Crypto Warrior. Yeah, you little sod. I don't mind banter. It's absolutely fine. HelloFresh is great, says Stomp. The food's fantastic. Give it a go. Right, let's get this stats carousel rolling round again. I mean, Spurs are decimated, but those stats aren't too bad. If I'm Ange, I'm showing that. I mean, if I'm being shown in the Spurs dressing room for Ange, Spurs lads, look at that. You're down to 10 men and you've got more shots on target and you've got the same possession. You know, a draw is possible. Dream the dream. Dream the dream. It could happen. Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. Where's my live chat? I'm on the wrong browser. If you were the manager of either team, what would you be telling them in the dressing room, says Sully. Look, Chelsea... If I'm Poch, and I'm pretty sure he'll be doing this, composure. Composure, mentality, and calm. Don't get drawn in to the physical battle because they want to get someone sent off. Don't... What's the word? Don't... I'd be great, wouldn't I? I'm normally quite good in this situation. I'd be like, don't overthink it. Don't start stressing. Don't start overcompensating because you're playing against 10 men. You've got 45, 50 minutes to win this game. Don't start shooting from 40 yards out. You know, if you've got to play the extra pass, if you've got to go backwards to go forward, it's just all about composure for Chelsea. One chance, we win the game. Statistically speaking, if we score first against 10 men, they won't get back into it. So it's composure, mentality, and don't get involved. From a Spurs point of view, it's really difficult because the way Ange plays is not the way that I would probably go with this. I like the fact that he's got Kulusevski and Son up front for the break, but I'd want to play narrow and compact and hit them on the break. He's an expansive, energetic coach, but I think down to 10 men, narrow the pitch, let them go out wide, deal with the crosses. Narrowing the pitch helps it makes it easier when you've got 10 players because you make the pitch smaller, you're closer together, and you've got to have the out ball. Concentrate. You know, it's difficult for Spurs. It is difficult for Spurs. They're not the favourites anymore. I think they were, but they're not anymore. Anyway, second half is about to kick off here. And they did narrow the pitch in the first half. That's why there was a lot of crosses coming in after 10 men. We go. We move. There we go. Start the second half. I think VAR picks what to review, and therefore the refereeing is still biased. Technology can remove the bias. And that was from Nicholas. Glenn Hostel saying Romero tackle wouldn't be a red outside the box. He was doing a defender's job, kicking the ball first, unfortunately catching Enzo, says Max. Hi, Mark. I can't understand why VAR is not implemented like it is in rugby. Should be an additional tool for the on-field officials, says Rat. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see the explanations of it. I mean, the Romero one is very, very difficult for me to comment on because I believe it's a red card because of the red card that Curtis Jones got. I think it's very similar. He wins the ball and then he rolls over the top. I don't think it should be a red card, but I think if we're going to be consistent, we've got into that position where we remember previous decisions now. So Curtis Jones got a red card, so Romero has to have a red card. If they didn't give him one, then I would be moaning like Liverpool fans would be moaning and other fans would be moaning, saying, well, that's not fair. Do I think it's a red card? If he's intending to follow through, it's a red, but that's a very subjective opinion. And again, I don't trust these referees because they clearly don't play the game. They didn't know that the Sheffield United player was diving against Wolves. They didn't know that Joel Linton was pushing Gabriel on purpose to get a better header. So I don't trust them to know that Romero intends to hurt Enzo or he's just following through from a legitimate tackle. I'd leave that down to the individual, really. Romero is a dirty player. I don't think Curtis Jones intends to hurt Basuma. Does Romero intend to hurt Enzo? I mean, he's just kicked Colwell off the ball. So it's the difficult thing with Romero, he's put himself into the Xhaka category, hasn't he? You almost think he's probably done that on purpose. And if he has, he deserves a red. If he hasn't, it's a little bit harsh. Shouldn't we be encouraging rotation to stop injuries? 25-man squad plus youngsters. I mean, come on, it's better if players get a chance. No, says Cal. Well, you're going to see that anyway, because players can't keep up with this intensity. Hessen says, as a Man City fan, this has been the perfect weekend for us. Oh, mate. This Premier League weekend is sponsored by Etihad. Arsenal getting screwed, Spurs being cursed, Liverpool not winning at Luton, Villa getting beat by Forest. If they did perfect weekends, this would be it. And also, they scored 6 themselves. Pratt says, Pratamish. I'm calling you Pratt. Pratamish says, if Man City were not in this could be an absolute amazing season with Spurs, Arsenal and Liverpool very close to each other, with Aston Villa, Newcastle challenging for top 4. I've said this before. It's a compliment to Man City, but if you took Man City out of the Premier League, it would be amazing. A good interception here. They've got a 2v2. Oh, it's a terrible pass, though. If Spurs are going to have those breakaways, they've got to use them. There's a good chance there. The Prem denying the World Cup technology shows they are stuck in their way. It was always going to require legitimate issues to cause change, says Lucas. Look, I'm probably in the minority here, but I don't trust their offside technology. After that Bournemouth-Burnley game, where they drew offside and then they had to look at it again to make it onside, from that moment, I don't trust their offside technology. Call me a conspiracy theorist. I just don't. I don't trust that Son was offside. I don't trust Garnacho was offside against Arsenal. I don't trust that Dunk was offside against Everton. I just don't trust it because I think there's just too many reasons not to. And there is better tech out there. You know, the tech we see in the Champions League and the World Cup is better. They just didn't go for it for some reason. And I can't believe as well. I mean, please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're very close to 52,000. We're only 10 away. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. You're all very welcome. I cannot believe as well. Explain this one to me. We've got VAR. We've got goal line technology. But we don't have a camera on both touch lines. And, I mean, I'm not too bothered about having one on, you know, the lines, the throwing lines. But I can't believe we don't have cameras that go along the goal line. I mean, the Premier League is the richest league in the world. Players are on 300 grand a week. And we don't put those cameras in. All you need to do is put one in each goalpost the other way. That's all you need to do. A camera in each goalpost pointing towards the corner flag. You're sorted. You could put a bloody GoPro there. They're not even expensive. Oh, Spurs trying to play out from the back is going to be the end of Spurs in this game. Conor Gallagher's just won it on the edge of the box. And that's a free kick. Could Spurs get this win in the last minute, says Macrina? Well, anything's possible in football. We saw Luton yesterday. I don't think anybody thought that was going to happen. But it's going to be hard. Oh, it's going to be hard. Good cross into the box. Goal kick. Oh my God. I'm just looking at this. Another statement from Neville. It's really poor and dangerous what Arsenal have done with their statement. I mean, could they live up the arse of the PGMOL anymore? I mean, it's amazing. I can't understand why respected ex-players are not on the side of fans and are on the side of an organisation that's been proven to be incompetent. It just amazes me. The Arsenal statement is basically on the side of football fans who are fed up of the poor officiating in the Premier League. Take away rivalry. Take away disliking Arsenal. Ultimately, what's Arsenal's statement about? Is it about backing poor officials or is it about calling them out? That's what their statement's all about. And therefore, it's backing football fans who are fed up with it as well. I'm tired of being dictated to by the master media. Those days are gone. You don't run the game anymore. Social media's changed that. Here we go. Sterling's in down the left-hand side. Oh, God, he could have won a penalty there. He wouldn't need to dive. Headed away. Can Chelsea find that cutting edge? That's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at. Højbjerg goes wide to Kulusevski. It's going to be a long half for Spurs. They're going to need to keep some energy back. Ethiopian baller says Tottenham will win. Well, I'm not sure they will, but I can sort of see what you mean. Because Chelsea struggle to score goals. Basuma's done well. It's a bad touch. It's a bad shot. He could have won a penalty. He didn't. And now it's a 3v2. It's a 3v2. This should be it. He's fucked it up. Oh my God. How have they messed that up there? 3v2. Yellow card. He's off. What is he doing? What is Udogie doing? Down to 9 men. What is he doing? What a complete and utter prat. Was he missing something on Netflix tonight? Because he's been trying to get sent off already. That is just unbelievable. That is just unbelievable. I tell you what, if I wouldn't be able to look at him if I was the manager. I would not be able to look at him. I'd be absolutely fuming. I'd be like, we're down to 10 men. These lads are working their arse off. And you're going to ground on a yellow card with a tackle you can't win. Just, and there's the goal. No, it's not. It's off the line. Højbjerg. Oh my God. Was that Nicholas Jackson again? I mean, talk about... I mean, he's not... Where's he come from? It's not... They can't have got the one from Villarreal. He's not the real Nicholas Jackson, is he? He's just some guy who was, you know, playing pub football. Chelsea have been scammed. Yeah, but that Udogie thing, we've got to move on. But I just... Should have been sent off in the first half. And completely doesn't get it, does he? Doesn't get it. Just doesn't get it. I mean... Incredible. I'm stunned. I'm absolutely stunned that you're on a yellow card and you dive into a tackle like that. It's got a train to catch. If Chelsea go on to win this now, what a weekend for City, says Wes. I mean, how do Chelsea not go on and win this now? How do they not go on and win it? I have both Romero and Udogie in my FPL, says Joel. Yeah, my FPL's funeral tomorrow. It's dead. Like, it died. It died when bloody Romero got sent off. I've only got Son. I have got Colwill, but he's already conceded a goal, so... Mad. Absolutely mad here. I mean, they're still playing 2 up front, Spurs. They'll be playing a 4-2-2. God. You can't believe it, can you? No, they can't be playing a 4-2-2. They're playing a... Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can. Got 9 players. 4-2-2. Nicholas Jackson's just missed another one-on-one. Another save. Bloody hell. I mean, one thing's for sure. Chelsea will have a lot of shots on target. I mean, does it not get to a point where you just, with 9 men, you literally just say 2 banks of 8? You know, 2 banks of 4? Because they're still playing with 2 up front. Is this justice for Liverpool? I don't really think it is. I mean, I don't see how it's justice for Liverpool, really. You know that Nicholas Jackson, I've just seen somebody say it in the chat. Nicholas Jackson may as well start singing Michael Jackson songs. It'd be more entertaining. He's he'd be better off as a Michael Jackson tribute act than a bloody striker for Chelsea at the moment because he's rubbish. You may as well start singing Heal the World or something. You know what? Next season he'll be Europe's best striker, won't he? But he's absolutely. I mean, I didn't know a lot of him when he was at Villa. I'd heard of him, but I didn't know a lot about him at Villarreal. I was very surprised when Chelsea went for him. I mean, he's quick. He is quick, but when Isaac went to Newcastle, I knew he didn't score many goals in Spain, but I'd always quite liked him as a player, and he's come into the Premier League and he started scoring goals. Nicholas Jackson, I just don't know. Who else is on a yellow card? Sarr needs to be careful as well. They could go down to 7. Brilliant keeping by Vicario. I mean, Spurs need to be careful here. They're still throwing in tackles. These lads are going to be knackered. So much space. I mean, Chelsea should win this. If they get the second goal, they could win it 6 or 7. Reece James with a shot. Rahul says you should follow cricket. They get 2 appeals in that. Adogi, I might just smash into somebody just to make me feel better, says Lars. Well, it's 2 subs here from Spurs being made. It's just fresh legs, Skip and Lo Celso. I think he's just got to park the bus, hasn't he? Kulusevski comes off. Will he take Son off? No, Sarr, who's on a yellow. Good move. There's a famous clip of a man who walks into the BBC newsroom by mistake and starts getting interviewed. Reminds me of Jackson, says Nick P. Melvin says, if they don't win against 9 men, it'll be embarrassing. They never say never in football, but there's a long way to go for Chelsea. It's like I said at half time, when they're against 10 men, it's about calm. It's about not panicking. They will get chances against 9 men. They'll get lots of chances, and it's just about calmness and composure, because it's virtually impossible at this level to not beat 9 men. 10 men, we've seen it. 9 men, I don't think we don't normally get into a situation where there's 9 men. Great signing that Tottenham goalie is. 19 million. Big Ange can spot a signing, says Dazzo. Would you ever do Strictly, says Meldon? Well, looking at some of the so-called celebrities they have on there, they'd be mad not to invite me, but that sounds really arrogant, doesn't it? I don't know. I don't think you get paid that much money for it, really. I probably, you know what? It probably wouldn't be fair if I did it. Lovely ball over the top. Sterling, he's just got to put it. Oh, it's a terrible for. You know what? I look at that Chelsea attack and I do wonder. That's the second time Sterling has been in a position where he should be feeding somebody else and he won't fucking do it. Like, they had a 3v2, he should have slipped Jackson in. And that's the first time pass and Jackson's one-on-one and he hasn't done it again. I'd be fuming if I was Poch. I mean, they'll still win, but that's why they don't have many shots on target. I mean, today they'll really pump up the stats. He had one good for 14-game run and everyone said he's the best up-and-coming striker in Spain. I honestly think the stress has got to him massively, says Jack. Sterling's bloody greedy, that's what it is. He wants the goal, doesn't he? In fairness, L30 says, why should Sterling pass it to Jackson? He'll miss anyway. He's better off trying to run into a brick wall. Ange's home record since 2020 is 52 games and no defeats. Yeah, but a lot of that's for Celtic, isn't it? Come on. I wouldn't have any home defeats if I was Celtic coach. My cat could manage Celtic at home. Here we go. Oh, God, I tell you what, he's so good off his line. Spurs probably lose this, but Vicario's been brilliant. My man of the match. He's so quick off his line. Like, there's been times where he's further away from the ball than the Chelsea striker, and he gets there first. The speed he's put into it is just incredible. Signing of the season, says Stevie. He has been good. I mean, look, there's still a long way to go. As a Liverpool fan, I'm enjoying this Spurs karma, says Anist. And as a Chelsea fan here, I assure you we ain't winning. Leave it to Chelsea to bottle this moment with the new Spurs, says Luminous. Mate, come on. There's downers, but this is Premier League football, and it's 11 against 9. Like, and also, in the modern game, it's all about patterns and pressing and all that, and you know, it's not about individual creativity in the modern game. It's all about pass and move and breaking down systems. So you don't realise how hard it is for Spurs to have 7 outfield players against 10. I've got that wrong, haven't I? What are we, 11 against 9? 8 against 10, sorry. I sent someone else off there then. 8 against 10 outfield players. It's really hard, and you won't prep for it either. Like if you're playing Man City next weekend, you can prep for Man City next weekend, but you don't prep for playing 9 against 11 because there's no point. It hardly ever happens, and therefore because you don't prep for it, it's a completely unique game that you just don't prep for. So it's not like these Spurs players even know what they're doing. It's hard. Why on this game do they need to talk about Højlund and his shot to min ratio? I wish you and your family well. You're amazing, says Xbox. All subs used by Spurs with 60 minutes played is crazy, says Jack. Thanks everyone for subscribing, by the way. We've gone past 52,000. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Thanks for getting involved with That's Football, a fantastic community we have here. Another amazing game of football. It's not been the game I wanted as a neutral. I've got to be honest. I wanted to see 11 against 11. I never like to see red cards. They happen. I never like to see 10 against 11. I think it ruins the game. But here's Cucurella. He's done really well. And Vicario again. Oh, my God. He is. I mean, he's man of the match. I know Chelsea could still win this 6-1. But he's unbelievable. He's like Spider-Man. Vicario is exactly who most of Man United fans expected Onana to be. Instead, we've got Karius as Jack. Well, you can't keep doing what he's doing. You just can't keep doing what he's doing. And he's gone down injured now. I mean, Spurs can't lose another player. I mean, this is very clever. I don't know why Spurs are doing this as well. Can somebody explain to me why Spurs are playing a high line when they've got no pace in their back line? I mean, look, I like Ange and I like what Spurs have done, but I've got no idea why they're playing a high line on the halfway line with no pace, because it's a piece of piss to do what they just did. Just sprint from the fullback and dink it over the top. I mean, that's just suicide. Jackson wouldn't start for Solihull Moors, Mark, says Zetti. And if not were my hatred for Spurs, I would probably be absolutely cheering for them. Down to 9 Ben, but they're still trying to play and play to win. Ange has installed some mentality into them. Well, it's very true, Prathamesh, because they are playing a high line. I mean, somebody said it's working, Mark. But it's only working because Vicario is making world-class saves. Injure for Vicario and force them to play Hugo Lloris, says Jack. Look, at the moment, Spurs are coming out of this with a lot of friends. I mean, the problem with these things is Spurs will get to 90 minutes, think they've done it, and then old Oliver and his mates, they'll go and they'll go and add on another 12. They're playing the offside trap system. I know, Stefan, I know why they're playing a fucking high line. I don't think they're doing it because they want to talk to Ange. They're doing it. They're playing an offside trap. I'm just saying, why do it? Because they keep getting in behind it. Surely it's better to drop off to the edge of your penalty box and play compact. Spurs is fighting. I respect the Imagine United going down to 9 men. Love the content, says Show. I mean, I imagine they're doing it because they want to try and get up the pitch and score a goal, but they're not going to score a goal. Not with they haven't, 10 men maybe, 9 men no. Because they know Chelsea players can't finish, says Ali. What's Spurs' next game, Mark? Next weekend, Wolves away. That'll be tough. Wolves away will be tough for Spurs. Although, it'll feel like a fucking holiday having 11 players, won't it, to be fair? But who will be playing for them? No Romero, no Van der Ven, no Maddison. International break probably won't help them out. And straight after the international break, they play... Who do they play after the international break? Spurs. Can't see. Why can't I see Spurs? Oh, Villa at home. Yeah, their next 3 games are Wolves away, Villa at home, and then I think they've got City. Yeah. It's typical, isn't it? I mean, everything falls into City's lap. Spurs, if they'd played City a couple of weeks ago, might have given them a game. Playing City with no Romero and no Maddison and no Van der Ven, they'll struggle. Mudrik's getting a lot of stick. Hi, Mark. Can you please shout out Frankie, Rob, and Ian? They are terrible at Hochi, says Bill. Ollie says Michael Cityver instead of Michael Oliver. Another long ball over the top. Pedro Porro's got in here. Oh, he should have gone to Son. He should have gone for Son there. Why didn't he go for Son? Still 73. Vicario goes long. I mean, there's absolutely no way that they're going to win that. Matt G says, why did United get called ill-disciplined and petulant against City, but 9-man Spurs being called brave and mentality monsters? You've answered your own question, Matt. It's just agenda. That's what it is all about. You know, United, everyone wants to have a pop at them, whereas Spurs, like you say, it's brave. I guarantee you now, here we go, here's the goal. They've timed this well. Sterling, he's just got to sweat it, and that's the goal. Jackson, 2-1, game over. It was always going to happen, and I'll go back to what I was saying before. I don't know why they were doing that high line, because it was getting broken down time and time and time again. And it's the goal, and that will be the end of the game. Chelsea would be up by 4 if Lloris had been in goal. Vicario's putting in an unreal performance. There is the goal. It was inevitable. People are saying it's offside. No, I can't see why. Jackson's acting like he's just scored a worldie. He's not offside, and he can't be offside from a backwards pass anyway. So, yeah, nice and simple. I mean, to be fair, it's an open goal, but you wouldn't put Jackson past missing that, would you? It's if you've ever played FIFA or EAFC, it's what you call a sweaty goal. You make sure. Chelsea would be up by, I think I've done that one from Noah. Can Spurs only blame themselves? Yeah, of course they can. I mean, you know, the red cards have killed them. I mean, I think they would have found it hard anyway. I mean, they're looking at an offside, but I don't see how it can be, because Sterling's well onside. What? This is just a waste of time. It's just a waste of time. Why do we need VAR? It's almost like propaganda now, isn't it? It's almost like propaganda. We know that's onside, but VAR puts it up there so they can go, look, we got one right. We know it. We know it's onside. Like, we don't need to be bloody having a look at that. Chelsea, big celebration. Chelsea into the top half of the table. They're not scroll down FC anymore. They're into the top half of the table. 15 points. They're into 10th place. I mean, they're still 11 points off Spurs, even though they're going to beat them. But they're up there in the top half of the table. It's a big moment for them. I told you one more player out now. I'm confident, says JR. And we've still got 15 minutes to go here. There is absolutely no way back for Spurs, unfortunately. Do Spurs have themselves to blame? Yes. Yes. They've I really wanted Spurs to win because I want them to get somebody to be in a title race with Man City. It's been the perfect weekend for Man City, and they don't need the perfect weekend because they're favourites anyway. I wanted Spurs to win. Why haven't they won? Because for some reason, as the home team, who are top of the league, they came into this game fired up to the point of it was reckless. Goal! Offside. Dyer. Oh, that would have been a great moment. 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 He's off. Yeah, he's off. He's off. It's such a shame. I mean, it goes off Disarcy's head, but it goes off the Spurs player's head first. It's a shame. It's off. Good finish by Dyer. Yeah, it goes off a Spurs player and then it goes off a Chelsea player, but that won't negate the fact that when the Spurs player heads it, he's offside. So, yeah, it'll be offside. I mean, again, they do this to make themselves look good. I don't need a replay. He's offside. Fucking, you don't need to draw the lines. What are they looking for? I mean, this is the Premier League. This is the Premier League and they're taking their time on this. They're doing it on purpose. But Howard Webb's on the phone going, milk this, milk this. It's a good decision where we're going to get it right. It's the most blatant offside you'll ever see and they're milking it. Liverpool will challenge City for the title, says Lulz. Howard Webb's there. Wait. Let's take our time on this because we're definitely going to get it right. Slow it down. Calm down. Take your time. We don't want to get this massively wrong. Let's take our time on it. This is incredible. Absolutely incredible. How are they taking so long? He's fucking miles off. I can see from where the feet are in relation to the lines. Offside. It's miles. He's a horse length off. Get on with it. I mean, they've made it look closer than it was, but he's bloody offside. Yeah, going back to why I think Spurs have lost this game. Indiscipline. That's the word I was looking for. I don't know why they came into the game as favourites at home and were so indisciplined. Like, Udogie should have been sent off anyway. The second yellow card is just disgusting. I mean, what is he doing? Romero had... I mean, the thing about Udogie and Romero is they could have been sent off before they did get sent off. I mean, they could have had 2 red cards each. And if I was a Spurs fan, I'd be sat there going, look, we weren't the underdogs in this game. Why are we coming into the game trying to rough Chelsea up? And they have. And I don't get that. I don't get that at all. So, look, Spurs are having a great season. Even if they lose this, they're still having a great season. Hopefully they've got some Harry Kane money in January because they might need it. But today, I just think if I was Ange, and maybe he was a contributor to it, I don't know. I just don't know why they were so aggressive. You can't be aggressive in the Premier League anymore either because you will 100% get sent off. But Romero could have been sent off twice and Udogie could have been sent off twice. And, you know, it's not very often that you get 2 sending offs, is it? But I'd still give Vicario man of the match. Just a little bit of a reminder, actually. Another free kick to Chelsea here. Just a bit of a reminder that our podcast, which is our bolt-on to That's Football, it's called Goldbridge Saves Football, is out every Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. Really big, in-depth piece on the state of football in the Premier League at the moment. Very interesting conversation as well about whether football was better 20 years ago in the Premier League than it is now. Now, you might not think that, but if you listen to this, it's really interesting on the podcast about how, as a little bit of a spoiler, we were getting far better individual type goals than we get now because it's more about team play. It's more about system. We're not getting the goals that you used to get from a Ginola or even a Gareth Bale or even a Matt Letizia. We're not getting those type of goals anymore. We're getting very technical goals and we've lost the individuality, and therefore are we getting less quality goals. So was football technically better then or now? Listen to the podcast. It's out at 7 a.m. tomorrow. It's on Spotify, it's on iTunes, and it's called Goldbridge Saves Football. There's a big section on the VAR discussion. I've left it pinned in the live chat. All you got to do is click the link and give us a follow, and you will get it on your notifications tomorrow. So support the podcast, Goldbridge Saves Football, out tomorrow at 7 a.m. Your support is appreciated. There's 30,000 of you watching this. You must love football, and the podcast is a bolt-on to this channel for you to listen out and about on a walk, or in the car, or whatever you're doing. So give it a listen. Thanks for your support. If this was Burnley-Luton, that offside would have been decided instantly, says Atomic Johnson. I know. They're milking it because it's a big game. It's propaganda. I feel the result and eventual red cards will mask a truly horrific VAR performance, says George Kelly. Yeah, I don't think it's been good today. What do I think VAR got wrong? Udogi's red. I think they got that wrong. I think the Romero should have at least... I think Romero should have had a red earlier for kicking out against Colwell. It's violent conduct. I mean, at the end of the day, people might say it's a bit soft, but Bruno Gomes should have got a red for violent conduct, and Romero should have got a red for kicking out because Casemiro got a red for holding someone's collar. So, I'm sorry, Romero should have been red carded for the kick. Bruno Gomes should have been red carded at the weekend. Palina should have been red carded against Brighton. If you're going to give a red card because Casemiro grabs someone's collar, you've got to give a red card for somebody actually hitting somebody. So the Udogi tackle was horrific. That should have been a red card as well. So there's two big ones there. Anything else? I think the penalty for Chelsea is quite dubious, really. Spurs fans could probably argue that the referee's offside should have been overruled and the goal should have been given, because that led to the red card being found. You could argue about that. Is there an argument that Sterling dives, therefore it negates the foul that comes afterwards? I mean, there's all sorts of arguments, but ultimately, I think we're just better off letting the referees ref and turn VAR off. Baby Juice said, you could say that the Reece James should have got a red. I will not. I think I've got enough reasons to say VAR shit tonight. I mean, Spurs should have scored again here. How are Chelsea defending like this against 9 men? I don't think the Reece James one was a red. I mean, I'm happy to do a poll. I don't think it was. But what I would say is I wouldn't have been shocked if they'd given it. I just don't think it was. But I wouldn't have been shocked. I can't believe Chelsea have only done this 2-1. Although this could be 3-1. Gusto and a good bit of defending there. Off topic, but can't wait for the Manchester show. Just so happens to be on my 21st birthday as well, says Jack. Yeah, December the 11th. If you want to be there, you can get tickets. You don't have to be a United fan. I mean, it is the United Stand Christmas show, but we've got a section on the podcast. We've got Ben Foster on from the Football Fill-In. It'll be a good night. Looking forward to that. Only problem with the James one is that it has been given before, says the Don. No, that's what I mean. I've seen people put their elbows up before and get a red card for it. I'm not saying that it hasn't happened. I mean, this is the thing for Spurs. They have the ball, but they've just got nowhere to go. Chelsea third incoming, says DJ. Well, you'd expect a third goal to be incoming at some point. I mean, there'll be a frustration to Chelsea, and there'll be well, there won't be a frustration to Chelsea. There'll be a relief to Chelsea, but there will be a frustration to Spurs that, you know, 2-1, is that all it's going to be? Oh, Vicario has gone down here. And there's going to be a yellow card for Mudryk. Didn't really see why there. Vicario is hurt. I felt that Vicario waited for this tackle, so I don't know whether he's trying to manipulate a red. I mean, Roy Keane got a red card for something like this once. It's not a red, is it? I mean, he has kicked him, but I don't think it's a red. Winning and still getting bantered. Win is a win, says Viraj. Sorry, Vlad. Chelsea performance against 9 men just shows how poor their attack is, says Kurish. Yeah. I mean, look, for Chelsea, you get the win. That's all that matters. But, yeah, there's a massive problem with Chelsea and scoring goals. They've got Man City at the weekend, and I think Man City will wipe their arse with them, to be honest. Romero and Jones reds were identical. Definite red, says Mike. Yeah, if you want consistency, Mike, yes. Yes, I agree. Let's have a quick look at the stats on this game. How many shots on target have Chelsea actually had? 6-4. That's not enough, is it, really? 6 shots to 4, and you've played most of the game against 10 men and half an hour against 9. They've got to learn to create better chances. 57% of you said it wasn't a red card for Reece James. 43% of you are saying it was. I would agree with it wasn't. Nearly 30k in here, Mark. Keep it up. Love it, says Connor. Yeah, thanks everyone who's tuned in tonight. Next watch along we're doing is Newcastle tomorrow night. Dortmund tomorrow night. I'm trying to think, yeah. Newcastle tomorrow night, yeah. Yeah, Newcastle, innit? Tomorrow. Newcastle, Dortmund tomorrow night at earlier time of 5:45 will be live tomorrow. So 5:30 will be live for a 5:45 kickoff. Dortmund against Newcastle. Massive game for Newcastle. Dan Burns just been announced being out for 2 months now. It'll be interesting to see how long Maddison and Van der Ven are going to be out for Spurs after tonight. Wednesday night, it's United Copenhagen on the United stand. And then Saturday lunchtime, I'll be doing Wolves against Spurs, which I think will be a really good game. And then I'm United stand for Man United against Luton. And then Sunday, it's a big game. Chelsea against Man City. So tomorrow night is our next watch along on this channel. Thanks everyone for tuning in as usual. Thanks for all the super chats and thanks for everyone who subscribed. And as I said, if you want to do us a favour, support the new podcast, Goldbridge Saves Football. Out tomorrow at 7 a.m. Links in the live chat. Just give it a click and give us a follow. That would be really appreciated. Thanks for your support. We're building a really strong community here. And I've got to be honest, I'm not really one of those power to the people. But there's definitely a movement to sort of, I wouldn't say shut us down, but certainly undermine us. And I've noticed it a lot in the media. Certainly after the Liverpool one. And even more with the Arsenal one. The amount of mainstream pundits and personalities coming out belittling Arsenal and Arteta and Liverpool and Klopp, when ultimately all they're doing is saying what the fans think, that this officiating is out of control. Why is it, everybody, that these ex-player pundits on the TV are trying to shut down criticism of the officiating? What is their benefit? They don't have shares in the PGMOL? Do they have friends in the PGMOL? Are there employers telling them to do it? I don't get it. But there is a movement against fans and it needs calling out. Is there a possibility to add XG on the stats tab, says Raju? We could look into that. I'm sure we could. I'm wondering if I can get you some XG because I'm more than happy to give it you. I should be able to find it somewhere. Here's Son. He's all on his own. Oh, it's a great shot, you know. I wanted that to go in. I really wanted that to go in. He's all on his own. He's ran at the Chelsea defence. He's got a shot. I mean, Spurs really should have probably got a draw with 9 men. Lo Celso's header. Son's shot there. I've got Luton winning easily against you lot. You're a prat. And then at the other end, Jackson goes and scores again. From one end to another, it could have been 2-2. It's ended up 3-1. Pochettino's loving it. Cameron says, I've got Luton winning easily from the last game. And Nigel says, Chelsea hanging on for 9 men is embarrassing. Well, they're not hanging on anymore. They've finally done what they should have done. I mean, Son's can't do any more with his left foot there. He's gone for the bottom corner. He's gutted, but he's hit that well. He's forced to save. I mean, this is embarrassing from Jackson. He's acting like he's fucking Ronaldo. You've scored 2 tap-ins, mate. I mean, look, I'm not going to be horrible to him. He's had a lot of stick, but I could score these goals. The hardest thing I'd have is running from the halfway line. I mean, again, it's not a clean finish. It's almost at the keeper. The keeper should have saved that. It's not a good finish. It's not even a good finish, look. Just can't adjust his feet quick enough. Chelsea needed this. Chelsea needed this. In a game across the season, you will play somebody and get a bit of luck. Chelsea have been very lucky tonight. They've played a team that just self-imploded for some reason. Injuries and recklessness. I mean, Van der Ven and Maddison injured. Romero and Udogie off their heads. It's fell into Chelsea's lap. It's not been the game we hoped it would be. 11 against 11. But whenever is it? Whenever do you get the perfect game of, 11-11 going toe-to-toe? There'll be frustration on the Spurs side. There'll be elation on the Chelsea side. That's football. But I think Chelsea have been rather fortunate. The circumstances have gone their way. And Spurs, I wouldn't say Spurs have been unfortunate. I think the players on the pitch, like the Basumas and the Sons and Vicarios, they don't deserve to be on the losing side. They've been brilliant. They've just been fighting a losing battle. But it's one game. It's how they respond against Wolves now. I mean, they've created chances. I mean, look at that. Chelsea have had 7 shots on target and Spurs have had 5. 61% possession against 40. It's incredible what Spurs have achieved. And they should be really proud. There's another one for Chelsea here. Hat-trick. Jackson. Stat padding. This is rubbing salt into Spurs' wounds, really. But it could have been. That's what I'm saying. 9 against 11, you don't realise how hard it is. You can't plan for this. 11 against 11, you can plan for it. 10 against 11, you can get away with it. 9 against 11, you can't. You just can't do it. At this level, you just can't do it. And Chelsea really probably should have won by more than 4. That 2 of their goals have come when Spurs have trying to get a goal back. So, such hate against Jackson, Mark. He's won the game, says Sack. I don't hate Jackson. I don't hate anybody. I think he's crap. Maybe he will become good. I mean, he's literally had 3 tap-ins, to be honest. I'd expect Peter Crouch to score those 3 goals, even at his age. But can it be the kickstart for Chelsea? I hope so. They've got Man City at the weekend. I'd love to see Chelsea get something against Man City. They're at home as well. So I'm hoping that this can be a bit of a kickstart for Chelsea's season. I'm not so sure, but I'm hoping it can be. They should have beaten Arsenal at Stamford Bridge a few weeks ago, so I'll be supporting Chelsea at the weekend. Don't you worry about that. But for Spurs, here's Mudryk now. Cuts it back. Over the bar. He's back again. See, he can only score tap-ins. That's a good chance. Oh, he could have had 9 goals tonight, Jackson. He's had a hat-trick of tap-ins, and he's actually missed about 3 other big chances as well. I tell you what, if you had Jackson and Doku in your FPL team this week, I'm not worthy. And that's the final whistle. It's demolition job at the end, but Spurs should hold their heads up high and just get ready for Wolves. It's one game. You know, it's one game. In the grand scheme of things, it went wrong for Spurs tonight with injuries and red cards. There's absolutely nothing that can be said about that, and I'm sure Poch is saying to that manager now. But when you look at the league table, Chelsea are still 11 points behind Spurs, which is a hell of a gap. Still early in the season. Can it be a kickstart for Chelsea? We haven't mentioned what Chelsea's next few games are. They play Man City on Sunday. We'll be doing a watch-along for that. Then they play Newcastle away. Then they play Brighton. Then they play Manchester United. So 4 difficult games for Chelsea. They've got to take this result and do something with it. There's no doubt about that. Greetings from Florida. You do hate Man City, at least on the other channel, says the Standing Bear. I don't hate Man City. I just don't want them to win anything because they bore me. Every time I say Man City, my mouth starts to want to yawn. Blues Nation says, we're drinking all your tears, have it, but I don't know whether you support Man City or Chelsea, mate. If it's Chelsea, you've got it completely wrong. Was this the match of the week, says Trevor? No. I mean, that's not a game of football. That's just weird. I mean, it's hard enough when you're down to 10. When you're down to 11, it's not a game of football, is it? It's weird. But fair play to Chelsea. Good win for them. Jackson's loving it. Might be his last chance to milk it. They'll bring a cow on in a minute because he's in a milking it mood. But what was I going to say? Talking about food, don't forget we are sponsored by HelloFresh on this stream here tonight. Don't forget the code. It is, of course, Football60. 60% off your first food package and then 25% off your next 8. Football60 is the code. Check it out. It's a brilliant deal exclusively for you on That's Football. And also, don't forget, tomorrow morning, our new podcast drops at 7 a.m, or a new episode of the Goldbridge Saves Football podcast. It's a great episode. Links in the live chat. Give it a click and give it a follow on your way out. Thanks, everyone, for watching tonight. It's been a fantastic stream. The audience is getting bigger and bigger, and you're all very welcome. Thoroughly enjoyed the chat, as per usual. Legends, the lot of you. Remember, everyone's welcome on here. It doesn't matter who you support. What a community we're building. Thank you, for everyone. We're back tomorrow for Newcastle against Dortmund at 5:45 if you want to join us for that. Thanks very much for watching. Take care and good night.